So we went missing from YouTube for about 3 weeks. And do you guys remember when I told you that we were not going to travel anymore for a while? Well, I was wrong. Here's the deal. We think that maybe we made a mistake when we chose that location in Texas. We really wanted to live by the ocean. And we were able to live really close to the ocean, but you don't get that ocean breeze and you don't get that ambiance and things like that. We also wanted to have land, which we did have a lot of that, and we were able to do some amazing things. The heat was really a bummer, and that was really a downer for us because we were not used to that. Now, we're used to the freezing cold, which I absolutely hate and cannot stand. But we are definitely not used to it being over 100 for 3.5 months with no reprieve in sight. And then even when the weather did break, which was like right before we left, it's been like 96 every day. And so that's really not a break either. That was one of the biggest reasons. We actually fought this really hard. We kept trying to just go outside at like 7 o'clock at night and ride on our mule and ride around the land because we just absolutely loved the land. We built the pantry. We thought maybe if we had some extra space that would help out, and it just seemed like we kept coming back to the fact that maybe that just was not the place for us. So we decided that we could either suck it up and just stay there and not be happy, or we could find somewhere else to try out and see if somewhere else would make us happier. Now, I feel like there are two kinds of people. There are the people that just get stuck in a rut and stay, and there are those people that are risk takers. And if you guys have been watching for a while, you obviously know that we are risk takers and we love adventure. We are not afraid to go out and try things. And that is absolutely one of the things I love most about my life, is that I have been able to do so many things because we're not afraid to try them. So we decided to start looking to see what other opportunities were out there. I did my research this time on places, and if we came across a place, I would research it to find out what their weather was like, to find out what was close, and we decided on an area, and we found a lot of opportunities in that area, and so we decided to just go for it. So, are you ready to find out where we're at? Because I am so excited to share it with you guys. And then I will give you a little bit more detail on everything that's come with us and how everything went. But let me show you where we're at. All right, can you see what I see? And I don't know, maybe I need to zoom in, but those are mountains over there. They are absolutely beautiful. And this is our view from the top of our driveway. So, yes, we are in mountain country, and specifically right now, today, we are in Tennessee. One of the first updates is we switched cars. So, our friends in Texas, they had a Jeep, and we had a Volvo, and they wanted to save money on gas and just have a more economical car, and we knew that we were really going to need a Jeep living in the mountains. So we have switched with them, and this is our new car. So beautiful. I love it. I love the color green. It does need a little bit of work, so Sean has been slowly working on this, but this is our new car, and we gave them our black Volvo S80. I believe it was an S80. And so they have our car and we have theirs. So we are having fun. We have driven it just a little bit around town, and we're loving it. So we just need to make sure we get it fixed all the way. We don't want to ruin it anymore. So Sean is doing that, and we have so many things going on that we're just doing a little bit at a time on things. So that is one of the projects we have. Next, our cats. Let me see if I can find them. They like to hang out on our front porch. And yes, the cats did come with us. Now, unfortunately, we are missing one of them. And that is because Dash, for some reason, when we left, we called all the cats, and usually they come running because they know they're going to get food. And she did not. And we went searching and searching and searching. We looked all over the property for her, all of the places she loves to hide, in the barn, under the tiny house, and she did not come. So we asked the neighbors, which are also our good friends, we asked them to keep an eye out for her and if they could feed her, and they have not seen her. So I'm not exactly sure what happened to her, but that was unfortunate, and it was obviously a little sad for everybody that she didn't get to come. But everybody else did get to come. Now, the mama cat that lives at that house had 2 kittens, and the neighbors were able to take one of them, and then she had moved the other one, so we couldn't quite find her. But they are also going to be looking out for her, to make sure that they, if they see her, that they will take her too and make sure that she is fed. And they have actually been going over to the house and feeding the mom cat as well. So they've been putting food out on the front porch because that's what we did all the time, and we didn't want it to just completely stop. And so they were nice enough to take care of her, which is so sweet. Then chicken. Let's talk chickens. So we do have probably a lot of chickens still. I'm guessing we have about 75, but we gave some to the neighbors. We sold a bunch of them, which is really what the plan was in the beginning, was we were going to breed them and sell them. We were going to have a chicken farm, but that idea kind of went out the window a little bit at this point. We still are able to do that. I know for sure that we want to find some land and be able to reproduce our own chickens. As far as selling them, I'm not sure what my plan is on that right now. I think I'm going to take a break for a little bit. The chickens have been a lot more work than I thought they were going to be, and so we're taking a little bit of a break from that idea, but still keeping in mind that we do want land to have our chickens, and so we did bring anything that didn't sell, we brought with us. So let's talk our trip. I don't know that I want to go back and relive that because it was horrendous. It is probably what you would expect for another long drive. It was about, I think it's a 17-hour drive, like 16 and a half maybe hour drive normally with no stops. And we had to make a ton of stops. So it took us a very long time to get here. But we are glad we are here. We are glad that we made it. We're glad that it is over. And so we're going to move on from that because that is not one of those trips that you want to relive. Plans though. So when we were looking around, while we were in Texas, you know, we would start like looking around at opportunities, and then we would say, no, we just need to stay. And then we'd start looking around at opportunities, and we'd be like, oh, we just need to stay. And we kept doing that over and over and over. So even though this move probably looks very like quick and not thought out to you guys, we have been talking about this for probably 4 months. So it was not very quick for us, and we kept trying to just stay and suck it up. And then the more we kept talking about it, we just decided, you know what? And then we ran across an opportunity, and we thought, this is our chance. And we said, let's just do it. So one thing I do love is that the kids got to experience living at the coast and living in the Gulf, you know, by the Gulf of Mexico, going to the ocean almost every week. And what an amazing experience I feel like for them. Not just that, but the farm, you know, being able to have the horses, being able to have rescuing the cats and having the chicken farm for a little bit, and just like all the things, having the cow, even though the cow was a bad experience, but being able to experience it, and then just doing all of those things, what a great experience for the kids. I feel, and for us, for Sean and I too. Like I said before, that is one of those things that I love about my life, is that I've been able to experience so many things, and I feel like that for the kids as well. So now we are experiencing the mountains. Here's our plan. We knew that we wanted to move somewhere in between Knoxville, Tennessee, and Asheville, North Carolina. So there are mountain ranges in there, and one of the dreams has been to have a mountain home. We are always very drawn to the trees and to nature and to the creeks, and we were even like that in Omaha. We have several neighborhoods in Omaha that are like that. So we still want some land, probably not nearly as much as we had before. I think we're going to downscale a little bit. So we're saying anywhere from maybe 2 to 5 acres is what we're looking for. We do still want to have animals. We do still want to garden and try to grow our own food, and I was so excited about my fruit trees, and we had just planted them and they were doing so well, and we obviously had to leave them behind. So I'm gonna probably try planting some fruit trees. I'm not sure. I have heard that apples actually grow really well here, and back in like the 1800s, that was one of the things they grew, that and corn. So we're going to try our hand at growing some things here and just see how it goes. I will probably do some research on it, but also just try my hand out at some things. I'll probably start out small with some of my favorites. So maybe like a couple fruit trees, and then, I love fresh cucumbers and fresh tomatoes. So I will probably start with those and see if there's any chance that we could grow those here. Okay. So we are currently in a month-to-month rental, and that allowed us, because we knew we wanted to at least get here, be in something that we weren't locked into, because the plan the whole time was to find something that we could buy, but we wanted to be here to check out the area. Now, we went back and forth about that, because that meant that we had to move twice. We had to move into the month-to-month, and then we would have to move into something once we find it. And we weren't sure how long that was going to be, because if we buy just a lot, then that will take a little bit to get like water and septic and power and things like that. We really were hoping we could buy something that had land and maybe just a little tiny house on it or something, or a rundown house that we could fix up, so that way we could live on the property while we're doing the work. So that is kind of what we're looking for. We're keeping our options open though, because we want to go out and look at things and then make a decision once we've seen it. We'll be able to tell like how close is power, how close is water, do you have to drill a well? I mean, there's so many things that you need to look at when you're looking at land, or when you're looking at land with a little house. That was why we thought one of the good things about having a little house is that it would probably already have those things. We wouldn't have to take the time, because it would take time to drill a well, and it would, power and septic and all that stuff. So that is the thought right now. That is what we've been thinking the whole time. Those are the lots we were looking at when we were back in Texas and looking at stuff online. So that is where we're at right now. So I did forget to tell you guys though about the horses. So we did give Rio and Sterling back to the neighbors that we got them from. Sadie, we did rehome Sadie, so we found her, we felt like a pretty good home. They actually lived not too far from our house, and so that was good. What else am I forgetting to, I feel like sometimes I start talking and then I forget some of the things I was going to say. Oh yeah, school. So, when you move states, there's always so many different homeschool laws. So in Nebraska, we had to, they called it applying for homeschool, but it was really just registering your kids for homeschool, and then they would send you an exempt letter we did that in Nebraska. And then in Texas, they really have very little regulation on it, and so you don't even have to apply. If you're going to homeschool, you just keep your kids home. So we didn't have to do any registration there. Here in Tennessee, and this is again the hard part, you know, we're looking in between Knoxville, Tennessee and Asheville, North Carolina. So right now we're in Tennessee. I have to follow Tennessee laws and rules, and if we end up finding something in North Carolina, I've got to figure all that out on that side. So I am looking at both states. I think they're very similar, but Tennessee is, you have to register your kids through the county, and then they have to do testing here unless you get them put under an umbrella school. Now, one of the things that I felt like wasn't really very fair is that all of our kids have some kind of special need, and they do not take that into consideration when you homeschool. So I had asked, you know, when our kids do the testing, would they get those what do they call them? Like, they will give them leeway when they're in public school for that. So like if they're really bad at reading, then they can read the question to them, or things like that. Like, they have these things in place for those kids that just aren't at your standard level. Well, when you homeschool, they don't consider that they had IEPs, and they don't take into consideration that they have these special needs. They either are at the level they're supposed to be at for their grade, or else they make them, if they fail 2 standardized tests, then they force them to go back to public school. So I did find out, though, if we go under an umbrella school, that we don't have to do the testing. And so we are applying to go under an umbrella school. I did some research, found 3 that seemed like they were the absolute best 3, and then I picked out of those 3. So, you know, I just felt like, man, that really isn't very fair if your kids have these special needs, and all of our kids have different special needs. They're not even all the same. And so I'm glad, though, that we figured out that we could do the umbrella school, because that makes it better, I feel like, all the way around. Not that I don't want my kids to be able to pass standardized testing, although I don't necessarily agree with it, putting everybody in this tiny little box and making them say, you all have to be like this. I don't agree with that personally, but you know, not giving them any leeway either is kind of stinky, I feel like. So we are registering under an umbrella school. I need to find out if North Carolina is like that, but for now, I had to figure out all of the laws that changed when we moved here for everything. Homeschool was one of them, and I don't think there's anything else, but hopefully I'm not missing anything. There's always so much to a move when you move out of state. That is it for now. Hopefully I answered most of the questions that you were having throughout this video, but we are here in Tennessee now. We will hopefully be here for a while, or at least in this general area. Hopefully we find something that we're looking for, and I am so excited to get started. But we will see you guys next time. Bye!